Welcome back, everyone, to Fool's Bounty. It's been a little over a month since the last time we played from our mid-season finale kind of wrap up, and we left on a pretty kind of high intense note, which we are gonna dive right back into. But for people just tuning in, why don't you guys go and share your characters as like a nice little recap, real quick.
All right, I'll go first. Hello, my name is Damian Alpizar. I'll be playing Carib, the Bloodhunter, who currently is a half-blood elf, and he is using he's of the weapon. He's of the order of the Ghost Slayer. So that's who I am.
And I'm NerdTots J. I'm playing Amon. He's just your normal Tiefling rogue with a little sass and a little bit of ass.
And so last we left off, you guys had ended up venturing to Amon's home, where you guys met Amon's mother, the household he kind of grew up in, and I believe you guys traveled with Amelia, who went with you guys in her cool little carriage deal that she spooked up for you guys, and throughout some nightly watches, which kind of got distracted a bit. Someone walked up and a battle ensued. There were some very epic moments of some flourishing mother radiated, Castlevania style, trying to grab, exploding lances midair. There was some cool, bodily takeovers to some transformations and attacks done by another, which unfortunately ended in a result of the orphanage getting exploded, burnt down, and when we ended that scene, Carib, you had gone ahead and, were asking the corpse, mustering what magic you could to get it to give you some information. Meanwhile, Amon had went to check on his family, seeing that his mother is now missing one of her legs, and that there were a few of the orphans that did not make it out. And that's kind of where we ended from that point. So we're going to pick up right from there. However you guys want to go and start in that moment there.
Mother, where, where's the children?
And your mother's is unresponsive. She's in the midst of these heavy tears. There's vocalized screams kind of going through the air, and she's looking around, and you can see that some of the children were able to make it kind of past where the cart are, and are crying, sobbing. And there's two by the back exit of the orphanage, one closest to mother, and then there's one that was a little bit past mother on its way to the carriage, that are, for lack of better terms, charred corpses at this point. But she is unresponsive to your questions.
Meanwhile, Carib's sitting there holding the body by the by one of the holes in the whatever small garments he has left. I'm just kind of looking at the body, and he had just given me the information that there's no way to save them. I hear the fire and I hear the screams behind me, and he's in absolute shock for a moment. He has mother still out, and he's just so pissed right now. And I want to take my sword, and I'm just going to impale it slowly into the body, and I'm gonna just whisper to my sword and say, "Guard this body." And then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna start running towards Amelia to see if I can, if she has any healing potions or something on there. So I want to run towards Amelia,
Okay.
but the body itself is pinned to the ground.
So when you first go and put in your sword, there is kind of a small clink noise, or it hits some other metal object that's underneath the body, kind of stopping you for a moment. But as you kind of wiggle the sword past, you move past this object and you're able to go and pin it down into the ground for safekeeping for now. But yeah, you do make your way over to Amelia. Amelia is unconscious at the moment. During the explosion, She had tried to put up a veil of protection from her cart using one of the various augments she has applied to it. Um, what ended up happening was it was successful in blocking any frontward debris. However, some of it ricocheted from behind her, bouncing off of her own ward and kind of smacking in the head, and she's unconscious. She's not, critically or mortally wounded, but she is out right now, and there's a pretty large gash that runs across from here to about where her cheek is.
I do have a one more greater potion of healing, and I think that personally she might be able to help us. Maybe she has more healing things in her thing, but I don't know until she's the only magician amongst us. So I want to heal her to see if I can get her to help us with the other children.
Gotcha. So I would say you wouldn't necessarily need the potion. I'll say you can save your potion. Just with your general knowledge, give me a basic medicine check real quick.
Man, me and medicine, dude. Roll high. Roll low. That's a 3.
It's a 3. Okay, so you're able to stop her
I'm
bleeding.
good at killing things.
So you're basically able to go and stop her bleeding. You can again tell it's a deeper wound, but it's not deep to where it's going to cause any issues. You can gather that after a few moments and stuff go by, she does begin to stir, and she is kind of awake there, still semi kind of out of it to an extent. But she begins asking, "What what's going on? What happened?"
Amelia, listen. We stopped it, but... And then Carib kind of moves out of the way so that she could see the devastation behind him.
All right, so Carib, you moved aside to show Amelia the scene, the devastation, the catastrophe beyond you, as Amon is still standing over his mother, kind of not moving, trying to figure out what to do next. She sees, Mama there, and her situation. Then she looks and she sees the bodies as well, and she begins breaking down and weeping. She's like, what the hell has happened? And she tries getting up, and she's a little bit dizzy, and grabs you for a little bit of extra stabilization. Yeah, she's very concerned as to what the hell actually happened here.
We have to save as many as we can. The children. Your shield helped, thank God, but...
They need help. They all need help. Oh God, help us.
How many ounces would you say that potion is? If I were to give like little drops to the children that are injured, will I be able to give them like a couple drops just to kind of... Or is it the whole potion?
You could dilute it to an extent, but it's not going to have the same effect, if any effect, because it normally is the whole concoction really work. Now Amelia, she's kind of getting composed. She goes, I can help tend to those that are wounded, and you see that she's already kind of reaching at her cart there, messing with some of the gizmos, and she pulls out some components, and she stumbles her way over to some of the kids and starts casting some healing spells on them. You can see this faint glow coming through as some of their wounds are getting tended to. She even makes her way over to Mother as well, who's on the floor now, and she's tending to her leg, stopping the bleeding and mending that the veins and arteries closed to where they stop the bleeding, and basically just cap that off nicely as best as she can. But you can see that she is trembling. She speaks to you, Carib. She goes, Carib, on my cart, there's a series of toggles. Look for the one that looks like a bear. Okay. And press it.
What?
Press it in twice, twist, and then push to the left.
Press twice, twist, push to the left. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go. It's pretty obvious, right? This
yeah.
thing, I'm assuming.
You saw where she was kind of doing all the stuff up before, so you find it pretty easily. And it's not like a normal bear. It's like a cutesy kind of bear face that's on it. But what it does is you see the cart kind of glow for a moment, and then it lets out a... now, you notice that on Amelia there's a mark that glows on her left shoulder that wasn't there before. It's as if something illuminated underneath her skin. Um, and a message is sent out, and you see Amelia begin speaking. We need all of you here now. Everyone needs to come here right now. And you can only assume that she sent some kind of message out to somewhere while she's still trying to tend to those who can. And some of the other villagers are now making their way out to see what's going on, trying to fortify the space around, clean up some debris, grab water, and grab those who need it. Um, Mon, what's going on in your head over there?
Mama, I, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. There's so many things going on. The kid, there's kids dead. There's kids hurt. There's something wrong with me. No, I don't know.
Come on. Snap out of it. Grab the kids and move them away from the flames. Bring them here.
And as you're hearing Carib's voice, you're also hearing, "Let's get revenge. Embrace it."
No, 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 no. Don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Help, help, somebody help, 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 help.
Come on.
The Amon, that got me.
So at this point, the night kind of from here on is almost, you guys are almost on autopilot. Carib, you start helping some of the villagers grab debris, kind of clean up, grab the children, get them into the other homes, kind of safe, and get them stabilized. Mama June is picked up and she's moved as well. And Amon is, you're kind of fighting with your external and internal battles at the same time. But the rest of the night for both of you is very much on autopilot. Carib, you don't even remember when you fell asleep, but you do remember when the sun came up. Yeah.
Can I make a note? In all that autopilotness, I do want to find a place to carry the body to.
Yes.
I want to move the body, retrieve mother and move the body to some place that's, I don't know who I talk to, or if you can tell me who I might be able to talk to, but I definitely want to take the body to some place where I can lay it down somewhere secure.
Yeah. So amongst all that, Amelia advised you to put it into the back of the cart, to where she can put up an additional ward to where really nothing internal or external can happen to it until that ward is down. So the body is safe and secure inside of her cart. When you wake, you look over to Amon, and Amon, you're not sure if he even slept.
He's been in the corner just rocking back and forth.
There's extremely heavy dark sags under his eyes, and you can tell, you can see the stress and despair still kind of on his face. Even though Mama June is no longer crying, she's sleeping, and you look over, she's kind of nestled up with a bunch of the remainder of the kids, all in one bed. None of them really want to leave each other, and what really wakes you up is not so much the sun, but you hear the voices of your other guild members. They have arrived sometime between late night and early morning. They're getting caught up by Amelia overall, who's kind of telling them what's going on, and they're each approaching you now. Soderham is up front, and he barrels through the door and is kind of looking at both of you. Carib, Amon, are you okay? What has happened?
Oh, so much to say. This guy who just was tearing down churches came and attacked us in the middle of the night. It's just how's Amelia?
Amelia is fine. She, after dealing with the other wounded, she has tended to her own wounds. And she is fit as a fiddle. But Amon does not look good. And he walks over to Amon, and he, as big and burly as this, fur bold is, kind of hair all around, big floppy ears. he gets as low as possible to you, and it's just like a hunky mass over you. He's like, Amon, speak to me.
Just, I just don't know. Help, help, help. As he swings back and forth, just fighting with that demon that he's still hearing. Embrace, embrace. He's trying to fight it. He's weighing the what's killing him is he knows exactly how Mama June is feeling right now. Even though she's sleeping, she's definitely mourning those kids and everything that's happened. He feels like he brought it with him. That it's his fault. So he's fighting that in his head right now.
So Sodom is kind of looking at you and listening to what you're saying, and you see he reaches into his back pouch, and Carib, you would see this, but he pulls out this dust, and he goes, "Do not worry, we are here." And he kind of sprinkles it over Amon. Amon, are you gonna resist what he tries to do in any way, shape, or form?
I feel like the demon that or whatever is possessing inside is going to.
He would give a little resistance overall. But right now, due to your mental state, you and what happened yesterday, you are in control of your current body.
No. So I'm just rocking back and forth. I'll tell you the truth. Amon's not even focused on what he's doing.
So Caribbean watches as dust falls over Amon, and Sodom is basically casting a sleep spell over Amon, putting him onto a forced sleep to calm him down and allow his body the rest that it is needing. And he watches Amon's body goes limp. Sodom catches him, and for the first time, you see Sodom really be sentimental, and you always knew he was a very nice guy. You always got that feeling he had no ill intent towards you guys, but you can tell in this moment that he actually cares about you guys, regardless of how long you guys have been with the guild. And he picks him on up, cradling him in his arms, and he puts him in a bed and kind of tucks him away. And he goes, "We need to get to the bottom of these now. Where's the one that attacked?"
Sodom, before there's a lot we need to discuss. Now that Amon's, and he checks on him, it's could tell that Amon's asleep. Now that he's finally resting, I could tell you a little bit more. The creature that attacked us, that person, the whatever it was, he was powerful. He was engulfed in this darkness, and he had he was the guy with the tattoos and the chains. I know you guys have been looking for this guy for a while, but he in the end did not seem 100% in control of his actions. I have his body. I was about to perform an autopsy on it. I want to research his tattoos, and I felt like there was something inside of it that I needed to investigate. But what really has me concerned is, and he kind of looks to make sure that Amon's out. A little bit of that dark flame had gotten into Amon some time ago, and when we were battling, I could have sworn, and I mean I knew it was him, but he didn't look like himself. He looked transformed.
Amelia has filled us in quite a bit, and he puts his large hand on your shoulder. He goes, we will discuss more on this, but first we need immediate answers. And so he begins heading outside, and when he's walking through the door, you can see Laubeck, who is the guild head, the human fighter that went ahead and brought you guys in initially. You can see Fabrix, which is the rogue that trained him on. He's some of the other individuals he's been helping out, clearing out the road still. He comes in and he's checking on Amon a bit, and then Sora is actually waiting by the cart with Amelia. As Sodom, walks up towards the cart, so that way you guys can begin this autopsy.
I look at Sora and I just kind of nod at her, kind of showing a little respect to my trainer, my second trainer there.
So,
I
good. My bad.
I wanted to point at the wound where I put the sword through, and just kind of let them know we need to check in there.
So they each give you a solemn nod. Fabric's watching you guys kind of come out there. He looks at you and he gives you a nod of acknowledgement, but he dashes inside to go find Amon. And you can only assume that once he gets there, he settles in. And for the rest of this particular moment and scene, you do not notice Fabric's leave Amon's side while you guys are performing this autopsy. Amelia goes ahead and she reaches through her different gauges and relics that she has, puts down the ward that she had placed over the body once it was inside the cart, so that way you guys can enter and begin your autopsy. So in this case, Sora is going to be the one to help. Whatever checks you're going to go and attempt to do. Sadarum is also there to provide any additional support if you may need it. But the body is yours to go and conduct as you will.
Well, I'm going to use definitely my Hunter's Bane in this particular thing. It helps me track fiends, undead. It just adds to ability and inside check. So first thing I want to do is I want to take where I had already put the sword, and maybe with something that's not as big as Mother, but something more precise, and I can get a dagger from anybody, and just cut open the sternum a little bit more and try to see if I can find the metal thing that I kind of felt resistance of on the inside. I want to pull that out and see if I can find it and examine it.
So this is really the first time you've seen Sora in an adventuring getup in her outside clothes, and she has knives tucked away everywhere within her garb. So she flashes a few out of various size, different blade types as well, for you to go and use during this time. So you kind of instruct her on what it is you're want to do. So she goes and begins cutting through some of the garments to allow you guys to have easy access. And you can hear as she's cutting through, you can hear a little clink, dink, dink as at different points the knife is hitting something underneath. When she does open way to it, there is your open wound. You see tattoos that right up through the neck, on the body. You can see where the previous chains that he had in his flesh, the ones that were dissipating as he was using them, you can see where the holes were through, and they don't look sickly or corrupted in any way. They just look like holes through the body that you can kind of see through the back. But the metal that you were dinging against, it's a thick iron chain around his neck with a pendant. And you would recognize the shape of this pendant because it's a pendant similar to the one you wear around your neck.
So I'm looking at this pendant, and the one around my neck is typically tucked against my chest, so it's not really out and exposed. I will look at Sora for a moment and say, I know this. I know exactly what this is. Well, I know, at least I'm familiar with it. And I want to, how big is it? It's about the same size?
His is a little bit larger because the body itself is much larger as well. It's not as large as Sodarum, but it is vastly larger than a normal person's body. I would say the pendant. Actually, the pendant is probably as big as a phone. So that's how, in comparison, and it's more oval shaped. The chains are very thick chains. I'm probably about 2 fingers thickness wise. That hangs around his body. It's a heavy, sturdy chain. He didn't want this thing going anywhere.
All right, I want to lift the pendant, and I'm gonna tell Sora. Who else is around me?
Sadarum is standing outside he can't fully fit in the car with everyone in there, so he's standing at the edge, just kind of looking. And what is it?
This is gonna seem strange. And I just kind of lift and reveal my pendant, and I put it next, and I hold it in my hand next to it. So I'm kind of doing this number here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is was given to me by my father, and he's got the very same pendant. I've I've traveled quite a bit, and I've never seen anything like it. So, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how to take this.
And the carvings on the front of his match yours to a T. They are identical copies. One is just larger. However, the back of his does have some additional ridges upon closer inspection that have the dried red residue on the back of it.
Dried red. Is it blood? Can
Give
I check to see if
me,
that's blood?
yeah, give me a medical check.
I need a medical check. Can I just do an Arcana check on that?
Blood isn't necessarily magic.
That is true. Oh, medical checks. Ooh, that's not bad. 14.
Ooh.
So yeah, looking at it, you and being used to the way hemoglobins work now and understanding blood in a various ways, this is blood that's on the back of it. And upon your inspection too, how your pendant opens up just like a normal locket where you have the images and the inscription in there. This one does not open like yours. It doesn't. There doesn't seem to be a way to open it, but there is blood pressed upon the back of it. And Sora's looking.
I want to do. I want to check to see if if there's any magic or history to this pendant that I'm holding, because I know the one that against my chest got hot a couple times. So I want to see what would happen if I can sense any magic off of this pendant.
Give me a history check, and I will say with advantage because Sora is next to you, and she's pretty well versed in history stuff.
So since I already have advantage on it, do I get double advantage?
Oh no! So okay, so what we'll do is roll for advantage, and then I will add an additional d6 on top of it that from Sora.
So my first roll was 14, and my second roll was exactly 14. So I've got 14.
And I got a 4 on the d6, so it's going to be a total of 18. So you're kind of pondering it. The symbols to you, you only know them from your pendant. And again, this wasn't even a pendant that you were fully aware of until your mother gave it to you before you left. But it's designs that you have ingrained in the back of your head. Even without knowing it, you could trace these symbols into the sand without a second glance. Sora, on the other hand, is pretty well versed in different histories and things like that of the world, the known world, and she kind of mentions that's unusual. Where did you get yours from? And I need to know where this man got his from. Where did you get yours from? Those symbols.
I mean, my mother gave it to me on the last day that I saw her, but she said it came from my father.
So those symbols in particular are normally regarded for right hands of royalty. And they aren't just given, they aren't just, made willy-nilly. They hold importance.
What about the blood then? I mean, this has been here for a while. It looks like it's been part of this pendant.
Sauron pipes up, allowed me to check and look. And so he looks at the pendant and it's kind of looking at the blood in the back, and he's like, "This is it's a lock. It is a lock. I can only assume blood for blood, but it is a lock. It's worth a try." He grabs one of the knives on the table and pricks his own finger and rubs it on the back, and nothing really happens. He passes it to Sora, who does the same thing to see. Nothing really happens, and then they pass it to you.
I'm taking a nervous breath because I'm looking at the body, and I'm looking at the lock, and I'm looking at the symbol. I kind of clean their blood off of it on my shirt just to get it off of there, make it clean slate. I reach back and I just kind of take a little nick, and I press my thumb against the back of it.
So as you press your thumb and you're allowing that blood to draw from your thumb, you can feel the pendant get relatively hot in regards to your thumb. You pull your thumb away and you watch as the blood that you had allowed to dot up begins to spread, cover, move its way to the front, trace out the symbols before sinking into the pendant, and it opens. Before we proceed, we're going to fade over and transition into Jay in his current dream state, or Amon in his current dream state. So, due to it being a forced and induced sleep, you do find yourself back into that infinite staircase with various doors. And prior to when you couldn't read some of the script on the doors, there are 4 doors, which names you can now read. And those 4 doors are of the 4 recently deceased orphans.
Why are their names on these doors?
This is your space, not mine. Hey, shut up, bro. We're trying to make magic. Proceed.
Are their doors supposed to be our connection to each other? I don't know. Or is this a sick, twisted game you're playing?
This is not of my creation. It is of yours. I could care less of those cretins.
So what is your purpose?
Power. Revenge.
Revenge on who?
Everything and everyone you desire.
So why is it important for you to take my body? What is your plan?
My play is no importance. I simply wish for chaos and destruction. And you can see before when the voice was kind of almost ethereal and kind of all around, you can see on the staircase on the railing, he's perched on top of it. Think of how Itachi sat on top of the tower before he decimated all the Uchiha. That's how he's sitting on top of this railing, just kind of looking at you and smiling. You can see it's more, still no face to it. It's more shadows, but you can see eyes just kind of floating amongst the shadow there.
So are you friend or foe?
That's for you to decide. You've already accepted my power. Allow me to feed and grow, and nothing like this will happen to you again.
But you told me once I accept you, I won't have control of my body.
That depends on the situation. But I will say, you have control now.
But when that fireball hit the orphanage, you told me I was too weak.
You were. You limited me. The power I can give you. You put a damper on it, like someone trying to put out a flame. That made you weak.
Yeah, because you told me if I accept you, I can't control my. See, we're going in a circle. We gotta circle back.
All things are never ending. All things overlap.
Life is like a second.
It is a circle.
So, how about here or now, for nothing like this to ever happen? We make a deal.
I'm listening.
When it looks like it's gonna be a big fight, and you see a chance for fun, I let you out. But only if you're gonna go back here. I'll let you have all the destruction and chaos you want, but you gotta go back in.
All of the chaos that I want.
For the other side, if I came in with them, that means they're allies.
And
Little bit of chaos on them.
for a moment, even though there's no inherent form, and you've really only seen the eyes in this figure, you swear you see a large smile, crooked smile for a moment, and you kind of blink and it's back just the normal appearance you're used to. And he says, "Fine, I will strike a deal for chaos now." And he reaches out which you can assume is his hand.
Am I when as I'm reaching out to give him my hand, I want to see your face.
When the deal is struck,
How could I trust you if you don't trust me now?
trust goes both ways. I will show myself when the deal is struck.
You say give you trust. I gave you trust by trusting in you when you called.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't trust. You begged and pleaded, and I gave you power. That is different.
You say tomato, I'll say tomato.
Do we have a deal?
Yes.
You shake his hand.
Yeah.
As you shake his hand, the various doors on all infinite levels begin kind of strumming different lights. Different wordings that you see on them are glowing in different hues. Again, most of them you still can't read except for the four that are currently behind you, which are glowing the brightest. And in that moment, there's the shadows begin coalescing around this individual, and you're staring at a shadowed version of yourself at this point. Your horns look more menacing, your hair a bit longer, your natural fangs sticking out more, and a deeper orange hue to your eyes as well.
You're a good looking person.
It was a pleasure doing business. And he and you're
Can you
left
teach me that one real quick?
and you're left in that infinite staircase by those four doors.
I'm gonna open one of them.
It's locked. And then from here we'll transition back over to Carib, who the locket just is open now.
Well, I'm looking down at the locket, and then inside my head, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fuck. That's all I'm thinking. And I look back at the body, and I go, well, first and foremost, I want to see what's inside the locket. What do I see?
So the locket has a mirroring image of your mother holding you as a baby, except you're looking and the picture you have is incomplete because the picture inside of his locket has him with his arm around your mother and still with the furs, but he very kind, soft face. Tattoos are still there, but very kind, soft face, smiling at both you and your mother. And on the left hand of this locket, where your mother has her inscription there, there's a similar inscription, except it reads, "My sun never sets when I have you both on my horizons."
I look at the body again. Why? Why? There's no way that he. And I grab the body by the throat. Why?
And
Why? Why? Why?
Sora kind of perks up and grabs you and is like trying to push you off. And she's like, "What the hell is going on? What is it? What is it?"
This thing, this man, he's...
What is it? Speak.
I think he's my father. Why? No. And I storm out. I'm not gonna be in there for that with that body right now.
Okay. So Sora goes ahead and chases after you. Sadarim stays and he continues the rest of the autopsy while you guys are gone.
Do I still have the locket in my hand though?
Yeah, you have the locket there. And from here we will go ahead and transition into.
Let's go.